Welcome, everyone. Welcome to eBridge, and thank you for joining us on this special youth panel event. I'm Corey Pena, CEO of the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, and on behalf of BCIC and the BCIC board, it is my pleasure to welcome you here today. At BCIC, we believe that our youth are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are shaping the world around us today. We are so proud to partner with Teach for America to host this important discussion, reflecting our shared commitment to empowering young minds, creating opportunities for growth, and fostering a strong, vibrant future for Brownsville. Together, we're working to ensure that every student, no matter their background, has the tools and support they need to succeed both in and out of the classroom. This panel is a space to discuss the challenges and opportunities young people face today and how we as a community can better support their journey. Your voices, perspectives, and ideas will drive the change we seek to create and encourage everyone here to support the next generation of our leaders in our region. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Ana Gonzalez with Teach for America to guide us in today's event. Thank you, Ana.
Thank you, Corey, for that wonderful introduction. And how appropriate is it that we're here today at eBridge and the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation. As a community, there's always room for improvement, and bridges are important. I was just talking to someone in the audience a little earlier about the uniqueness of the Rio Grande Valley and how we're all doing incredible things, but how important it is to create a bridge so that we are doing things collectively as coalitions and having lasting impacts. I have the privilege of serving as executive director at Teach for America Rio Grande Valley now for a decade. But prior to that, I was in public education for almost 2 decades as a teacher, as a principal, and as a district administrator. And I feel like I've been walking hand in hand with Teach for America since the 90s when I was teaching alongside many core members, when I was hiring them as a principal, and then when I was collectively working with TFA in the district where I worked to mirror many of the practices to support teachers. And Teach for America is a unique organization that finds, develops, and supports educational leaders who want to make an initial 2-year commitment in teaching in our community. We've been very privileged to be here since 1991 across the Rio Grande Valley, bringing those young leaders to make a 2-year commitment, but well beyond that, and we support them into their alumnihood. So because we've evolved over almost 3 decades, a little over 3 decades, we've really listened to many of our stakeholders, our educators, our alumni. I have the privilege of introducing one today in a little bit, but also our broader community. What has always been important to me during the 3-year decade that I've served our community is the voice of students. And because our students are changing, evolving, they have different needs than many of us who have grown up here since we were young as well. One of the things that I love about our students is that they're always wanting to give back to our community, but they have expressed over a time period that they want to see changes, and we're excited to get to hear from 4 young people representing their different peers and their own unique perspective today. But a little bit more about Teach for America. We are a nonprofit educational organization. We have 51 offices and regions across the country. We have 5 in Texas, including the Rio Grande Valley, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and Dallas-Fort Worth. But we need our community to help us reach our ambitious 10-year goal that we set a while back. And that is that by 2030, we want each of our students in the communities where we work to achieve key academic milestones, because we know that's going to put them on a different life trajectory that includes economic mobility. And I know for folks who are around my age, or maybe a little bit younger, but we've been in this for a while, we always aspire for our kids to do better, right? And one of my favorite authors, Paulo Freire, has said, education doesn't change the world. Education changes people, and people change the world. So what a unique opportunity to get to hear from our young people today who are ready to make a change in the world. And so I want to introduce you right now to a very special leader in her own right who will be moderating our student panel today. Her name is Abril Flores, and she is an alumna of Teach for America back in 2013. Wow, time has flown, Abril, right? So she's been an educator, but currently a college counselor at IDEA Brownsville College Prep. She will be moderating our panel. We'll have some very provocative questions to ask our students. And then we have an engagement opportunity for you. So when you walked in, many of you received this half sheet with some questions. I want you to pay close attention to our panelists today and reflect as they're speaking, and then you'll have an opportunity to reflect afterwards and share your thoughts. Because again, it takes all of us to make sure that our students are reaching their fullest potential and that we're helping them along the way to be the next generation of leaders in our community. Abril, welcome. Thank you for being here and for all you're doing to lead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abril Flores, and I most recently moved up to Director of College Counseling. So now I lead the college counseling department in my school, IDEA College Prep Brownsville. That is the one I'm part of this, since Brownsville has different IDEA schools. I am extremely grateful to be here. As mentioned, I did serve in Teach for America in 2013, and I am still in education, and I am just really grateful to be able to have the opportunity to guide the questions for today, but to also to listen to our students, former students, what are they up to, and what feedback do they have for us, because if we've learned anything is that we know that where our city is headed, our community, the Rio Grande Valley, at the focal point is education and our students. Just to give you a quick context of how it's going to work today, we will have an introduction from each of our members up here in the panel. Then we will move on to specific questions for each of the panelists. We will close, and as we close, we will then move on to audience questions. So if any of you have any questions, you will have the time to ask those questions at the end of the panel. Where do you submit questions? It's on that QR code. If you received a paper from John, he was giving those out. It's also on the screens. You are more than welcome to submit any reflections, comments, questions that you may want to ask of the panelists at the end. All right, and with that, we'll start with our 2-minute introductions from our panelists. And let me put my stuff down. All right. So in the next 2 minutes, you're going to introduce yourself. As you introduce yourself, please ensure that you say your name, where you're from, and what are you doing at this point in your life. And think about all the people that are here, right? There are different people who may or may not have close connections to education and other young people. So think about really what you want them to know. And remember, there will be additional questions. So as we practice, you got this. Uri, we'll start with you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Uri Torres. I'm 18. I'm a freshman at RGV. I actually graduated last year from IDEA Brownsville, and she was my college counselor. I majored in criminal justice. Hopefully one day I get to be an agent in human trafficking. And my favorite color is red.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Garza. I'm a senior at South Texas ISD Science Academy in Mercedes, Texas, but I am from Alamo, Texas. I'm a part of a family of 4. I have my mom, my dad, and my younger sister. I'm particularly interested in pursuing the STEM field and exploring the intersection between electrical and biomedical engineering, but I'm really grateful to be able to be here today and share about my experience.
Good afternoon. My name is Zevi Pineda, and I'm 16. I'm a junior at Veterans. I love to challenge myself, taking whatever courses I can, and I think Veterans has been a great place that has allowed me to do so. And I have 2 goals this year, the first of which is to research the Military Highway Water Supply Corporation and look for a safe source of water due to potential contaminants that have been confirmed before. And my second goal is to provide free SAT tutoring to any student at Veterans, which I've already done, for 5 lessons, and hopefully I can continue throughout the year. Our SAT average is a 1013 right now, so hopefully we can get that up by the end of the year.
Hello, my name is Tadasi Brown. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, but live down here now. And just like him, my goals are to try to help people, because I came down here not really knowing nothing. We didn't know nobody, kind of started from scratch, but we're up here now. And my goal is to join the field, start working, start providing, I want to be a blue collar worker, so it's a lot different from everybody up here, because I'm gonna be all getting dirty and stuff, so.
Hello. Thank you all so much for sharing. And with that, we are going to go ahead and jump into the questions. The first question will go to Jasmine. Your question is, what things are important to you at this point in your life, and what has influenced these values and dreams of yours?
At this point in my life, I am beginning to apply to universities and scholarships, and so that kind of ties into the value of education. My parents, since a very young age, have really instilled in me this appreciation for education and harnessing education as a tool for learning. I really want to find opportunities where I can continue to grow, to learn, which ties into my second thing, which is growth. Throughout my high school career, I've been able to participate in rigorous coursework and different research opportunities and continue to foster that sense of growth. I think that's really important. We all have so many ways that we can continue to improve ourselves, and I'm really hoping to work towards my goal of harnessing technology and my commitment to community service to really positively impact my community and different communities.
Thank you so much for sharing that. The next question will go to Tadasi. The same question. What are things that are important to you at this point in your life, and what has influenced these values and dreams of yours?
At this moment in my life, I think the most important things to me are my family. Because like I said in the introduction, we moved down here not knowing anybody. It's just us. It's just us 3. And with my dad over there, he's not in the best shape of health right now, and I want to be the provider for my family. I want to be able to be that one that he was when he wasn't sick. So at this moment, I feel like what's most important to me is my family, the people that I care about the most.
Thank you both for sharing that. It seems that you have the characteristic or the value of helping others, so it's beautiful to hear that. Next question goes to Uri. Uri, tell me about your day. Walk me through what it looks like. How do you decide where you're going to spend your time?
Okay, so normally, since today's a Tuesday, because normally Mondays and Wednesdays, I take classes here at Brownsville campus, but then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I take classes at the Edinburgh campus, because I took my orientation over there and I liked it, and I was like, I'll just take like a couple classes, it's fine, I can take the bus. And then, so I do, and then it's super fun. So normally today, I would have gotten up like at 5, 6. Okay, because I live in Matamoros, I don't live here, because my parents are from there. And so I cross every day with me, my brothers. And then, so I wake up like at 6, then I have to get ready by like 7. Then I take me, my little brother, we cross. Oh wait, it takes like It takes like 10 minutes max because I have like the fast pass, so it's way faster. And then we cross, and then I drop him off. He actually goes to MSA too. And then, yeah, I dropped him off because he has to be there by 8:30. Then the bus leaves till 9. So then I wait till 9, and it's like a big line, so I have to be there and stand. And then I get on the bus, I take a nap, and then I get to Edinburgh and I take my classes. Normally today, I would have gotten back home like at 6, because my classes end at 3:15, but the next bus doesn't go out till 5:15, so I wait till then. And then, yeah, I get on the bus, and then I get back here till like 6, and then, yeah, I go back home. Well, that's if I don't work, and then that's like till late, but that's different. So, yeah, that's pretty much my day. That would have been today.
And you got a job?
Yeah, at the mall in Aeropostale.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Zevi, same question. Tell me about your day yesterday or any day. Walk me through what it looks like, and how do you decide where you're going to spend your time?
Yesterday, I had one goal in mind, which was to work on my science fair project, which was the water quality project. So I woke up, got dressed, brushed my teeth, headed to school, and then as soon as I got to school, went to my math teacher's room and worked on science fair. Then once the bell rang, I went to all my classes, paid attention to my lectures, and then once school ended, I was playing tennis when my glasses broke, so I went back to my math teacher's room to work on science fair, and then my mom picked me up, I went back home, and I worked more on science fair. And I think really being able to hyperfixate on one thing a day gives me a purpose for that day and allows me to know that whatever I'm doing, I'm going to continue progressing and keep my mindset focused on one thing. That way I can make as much progress as I can on that one goal.
And did you finish your science project?
I finished one aspect of my science fair project.
Good job, good job. Now we're moving on to more in-depth questions about our panelists. Jasmine, this one's going to be for you. Let's get more specific to your current pathway. Share a little bit more about where you hope to be in 5 or 10 years. How do you come to this decision, and what influences you? How do you set your goals?
In 5 to 10 years, I hope to be pursuing, still continuing my education, and possibly working on a master's in business administration and MBA, and after then, lean back towards engineering and pursue a graduate degree in either electrical or biomedical engineering, something that has been really critical to my ability to want to work towards this are, again, my experiences throughout high school. I've been able to participate in different courses that my high school offers. An example would be our Project Lead the Way courses, which are very engineering and technology specific, being able to work, not only learn technical concepts, but also the way we can use technical concepts to come up with solutions for problems has really fostered my understanding and appreciation for how technology can be used to help people. Something that has been really important in this is also like my extracurricular opportunities. Though my high school does offer a lot of technology-oriented opportunities to learn, we also have a lot of opportunities to explore other fields. I'm a part of a business organization, which is kind of where I've been able to foster this other interest in business. So I'm really interested in exploring that intersection between business and engineering, just the unique experiences, the amazing teachers we have that all have been in industry and are specialists in their field have really allowed me to appreciate how different fields can come together to, again, harness good in our society.
And can you tell me a little bit more about what is your ideal career within that intersection of business and science?
I aspire to be an electrical engineer, but specifically use electrical knowledge or concepts to create devices, specifically monitoring devices that help enhance the accuracy of health monitoring. I have my grandparents, which do suffer from different chronic diseases, and I think that's really ignited that interest in developing devices that are not only more accurate, but more accessible to different types of people.
Thank you so much for sharing. Zevi, this question will be for you. How would you evaluate your current progress towards your hopes and your dreams? What are some of the things which have influenced how you feel about your progress?
So my dream is to become a pediatric neurosurgeon, and that's going to be a decades-long pathway, which hopefully I'll be able to succeed in. But as of right now, I'm very confident in saying I've done as much as I possibly can to meet that goal of becoming a neurosurgeon. And really what I've been trying to focus on recently is public health efforts, which it's possible for me to contribute to during my time in high school. Specifically with this science fair project, both last year and this year. Last year I went to the International Science and Engineering Fair in Los Angeles, along with my teammate Alan Garcia, who's at MIT right now. And we got 4th place, and we not really discovered, but sort of confirmed that there are local health risks in the military highway drinking water, specifically arsenic, as well as iron. And this year I'm hoping to find a safe alternative water source in order to make sure that everyone living there, which is 13,000 people in the district, have a safe source of water that they can access. And I know that the Valley is an under-resourced region. We don't have a lot of specialized doctors. So a lot of the people suffering from the diseases caused by this sort of thing, the toxins that they're taking in, don't have the proper medical care that they need in order to progress and not fall victim to these diseases up until they go to San Antonio or even Houston. And a lot of the people as well simply can't afford to take the trips there. So I think that public health efforts within Brownsville and within the Rio Grande Valley region are crucial in order to make sure that not only are people living healthier, but that they also have access to the health needs that they have.
Thank you so much for sharing. Would you be able to talk to us a little bit more about the project that you were working on, the research project that you mentioned?
So last year I did 4 main steps, or 4 main goals for the research project. The first of which was to test water samples from the military highway water supply, of which I tested 20 from, and 25% of these samples, a little above 25%, violated the arsenic maximum contaminant levels set by the EPA and confirmed by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. And in addition, 68% violated the iron maximum contaminant level, which correlates to around a risk of 1 in 200 people developing bladder or lung cancer throughout their life from drinking this water. And it's not only drinking the water, it's cooking with it, it's being absorbed into the foods that you eat with it. And this is a danger to our community. And if we want to improve the health of our community, it is important for us to make sure that we are getting safe water and not having to put the financial burden on individual families of buying their own filters, and make sure that the water that goes into their household is safe in the first place for them to drink.
Thank you so much. Would love to hear or see the results on that research project. Next question, it goes to Tadasi. How would you evaluate your current progress towards your hopes and dreams? What are some of the things which have influenced how you feel about your progress?
If I had to evaluate my current progress, I would say I'm at a pace that I'm comfortable with. I could obviously do more, but like I said, came down here with nothing, and I've got my certifications because I want to be I want to be in welding. I want to be a welding inspector. I want to be a high-level position in the field, and I haven't started yet. So at the position I'm at, I'm getting into the point where I can start. I'm getting to where I can go out into the field. I can get experience. I can be around it. I can get that knowledge that you can only get from the field. I can really only learn so much from school. I can really only learn certain positions they tell us, but the things you can learn in the field is so much more different terms, different things that you do only there, because it's in the field. That's where you're gonna be working, and that's my current progress. Like I said, I feel like I'm at a good pace, but I feel like I could do more because you can always do more, and I'm just not at that point.
Could you talk to us a little bit more about the program that you're in or some of the courses that you're taking?
The courses that I'm taking, the first one I took was welding and a stick, MIG, and flux core class, and then now I'm in an early pipe fitting and advanced manufacturing class. And something that affects my progress is, like I've said before, is family. Like, it's my pops. It all happened. Everything with him happened really fast, so it just it was rough. So, but I feel like now I'm able to kind of accept what happened to him, accept that that's just how life is, and move on so I can do better for him.
And do you have a favorite course so far?
Pipe fitting for sure. Pipe fitting is definitely my favorite. Yeah.
And what is your favorite thing about it?
I think my favorite thing about it is the teachers, the way they push you, the things they put in front of you. Like the welding course, it was cool. I knew a lot about welding, so it was kind of just me practicing. Pipe fitting, I went into it with no experience. I just knew how to weld. I knew I could do it good. That's what I knew how to do. But going into pipe fitting, I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to fit a pipe. I didn't know what a butt weld was. I didn't know any of that. But I've only been there for like 7 weeks. I think I have 3 left. And I feel like I've learned more than the full 10 weeks I've learned at the other course and what I learned in high school. So if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be pipe fitting.
Thank you so much for sharing. Uri, next question. Knowing that this audience is made up of leaders in education, business, and in their broader community, what would you want to share with them today that perhaps they may not know already, or that perhaps it isn't unique but you really want to emphasize?
Something I wanted to emphasize about like our education as like us four is like the FAFSA aspect of all of it, because like FAFSA really, not that it like makes or breaks you, but it's really like either you get support for your education or not. And for especially in my situation, it opened until January, which was really late. I was a bit stressed out, but Ms. Flores like helped me a lot, and we couldn't get the request in until May-ish, cause like they had a lot of difficulties, and I get it. Like they had made changes, but it was a very stressful journey, not for me, but for my parents. And then I was thinking like, there's people that are more stressed than I am, and especially my parents, because they're like, it's because we don't have the money to pay for it, and then how are we gonna get you money, and this and that. And so I just wanted to emphasize that, because it was really like a difficult journey. Like we would be on the phone for like 2 hours, and then at the end they would be like, call tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, thanks. But I just think that FAFSA should like like be more supportive. And then like, since like you guys are leaders in your community, I think like really emphasizing it and like bringing awareness to it would really like support kids that are like in my situation, or probably in their situation, probably they have it worse than me. And so like, since you guys are like in high school and you guys are gonna do the FAFSA for your first time, and so I think like FAFSA really supporting the kids, and for like leaders in our community to support the kids in their FAFSA, I think that would really make a change in the financial aspect of it. And yeah.
Thank you. So how do you think that if a student wasn't able to receive their FAFSA, how do you think that could impact their decision?
Well, for me, I haven't received it yet. I had to take out an emergency loan from RGV. The deadline is November 1st, and I still haven't, like every day I'm calling Pro Verifier, because they also like made this other change in Pro Verifier for kids whose parents filed foreign taxes. And I'm calling every day. Sometimes I'm on the phone for like an hour and a half, and then they're like, call tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, thanks, I'll call tomorrow. And then I just think like, just keep pushing, because at the end of the day, like even if like everything goes bad, you know, like you did everything that you could. And so right now I'm doing everything that I can with me and my parents, because they're also the ones pushing me to like, hey, like call them again. Like on the bus ride home from Edinburgh, I'm like on the phone, and then like they break, and I'm like, oh my God. But I just like say keep pushing and don't really give up, because then it might just happen for you that you get the money.
Thank you, Uri. Next question will go to Zevi. Let me show you. What are some experiences in your high school which you took advantage of or are taking advantage of, and why? Tell us more about that program, that experience, or maybe even that person.
Okay. I think Probably the two things I've most taken advantage of are the opportunities that veterans and that BISD offers, and the experiences of older students that have been able to teach me and let me know how to succeed within these opportunities. So BISD has done an amazing job of providing us with opportunities, providing us with competitions that we can succeed in, paying for us and paying for our trips if we do advance. And I've gone to places like Washington, D.C. for the National History Fair, Houston for the National HOSA, and Los Angeles for the International Science Fair. And this wouldn't be possible without the contribution of BISD in paying for these projects and in allowing me to go there and allowing me to compete. But also, I've learned so much from the kids who have come before me, not only about these competitions, but like, how does the GPA system work? What classes should I take? How should I study for AP tests? And having these mentors has really benefited me and really allowed me to start from a place of knowledge and then use my efforts in the most efficient ways that I possibly can.
You mentioned mentors. Can you tell us about one of the mentors that you had?
One of these mentors was my science fair project partner last year, Alan Garcia. He's currently at MIT. He taught me everything I know about science fair. He taught me a lot about the GPA system, about what APs I should take. And I couldn't have succeeded last year without him, and I wouldn't be trying this year had I not known that I could succeed at science fair and that I could go to MIT, that I could do these great things. So I'm really grateful for him as a mentor, but also all the teachers that I've had, Ms. Castañeda for AP Bio, Mr. Guerrero, Mr. Garcia for history. They've really allowed me to succeed and to learn these things, and then they've always supported me in whatever efforts I've tried to do.
Beautiful. Maybe they're watching and giving you a shout out and whatnot. And then I know you talked about mentors, and you mentioned different programs. Is there a program or something that you did that you really enjoyed and took advantage of?
I would say all three of those. I've learned a lot from the history fair, science fair, HOSA, and actually one thing I've learned is that the kids succeeding there and the kids going to Stanford, Harvard, MIT, they aren't smarter than the students in the Rio Grande Valley. We have the intellectual capacity to succeed, but what's lacking in a lot of cases is the support systems, and not the opportunity, but the knowledge of what opportunities are available and how to go through with them in order to succeed. What you should do and what you should try to focus on in order to have the highest chance of success.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Jasmine, this question is for you, and it's the same question. What are some experiences in your high school which you took or are taking advantage of? Tell us more about that program, experience, or that person.
My high school offers a plethora of different opportunities, ranging from research opportunities to very unique courses, again, the mentorship as well. And I think I really loved the ability to have that available to me. An example would be rigorous coursework. Leading back to that PLTW program, it's called Project Lead the Way. I've been able to take I'm on my 5th course under the engineering field, and we offer that students to start their freshman year and begin to receive an introductory course called Introduction to Engineering Design, where students can gain that exposure. What is engineering, and how can engineering be used to create real impact? We offer different courses such as digital electronics, an architecture course, an aerospace course. We also have like cybersecurity courses, like all these different things that students can really discover what they're actually passionate about and how they can use their passions to harness good for the community. Another unique thing is the partnerships that South Texas ISD has. This past summer, I had the incredible opportunity to attend Rice University. It was fully funded. Our school was able to help with that, with transportation, with staying at the Rice University dorms, and I was able to work on a genetic engineering research project. Another opportunity is a partnership with Texas A&M University. It's been going on for around 2.5, almost 3 years now. where we're actually researching toxicity levels, lead concentrations across the Rio Grande Valley, and it's just all these really special partnerships with different universities. Another one is UTRGV. I have Miss Odoms here in the audience. She has been incredibly helpful, one of my greatest mentors. She actually sponsors one of the clubs that I work with, which is Girls Who Code, helping to promote tech-oriented careers amongst females. But she was also my sponsor for the Program of Academic Excellence Practicum in Engineering and STEM, where a select few students, around 20 students, were able to go to UTRGV and work under the engineering department. I was able to work with the electrical engineering department and the Center of Nanotechnology, and it was an incredible experience just being able to be on campus, to learn about the type of resources, the machinery available to students. What is it like being a college student and attending a university campus? Just recently, I received news that a paper that my mentor was working on was accepted for publication by the MRS, which is a material science organization. And it's just these amazing opportunities that are so unique in different ways, I think is just incredible for students to have exposure to. Another thing is tying back to those mentorship programs. We have amazing teachers that are not just very knowledgeable about the subjects that they're covering, but also are incredibly helpful. They genuinely want to help you, and they want to see you succeed, and they want you to compete in different competitions and explore the world of technology, and I think that's just amazing. Another unique thing is our extracurricular opportunities. If there isn't a club at our school, you can found it. We have different things from Olympiads to business competitions to technology competitions to wellness organizations that we just recently started. I think that's just incredible, gaining that exposure to all sorts of things and finding what you're passionate about and what you want to pursue to help others.
Thank you so much. I can definitely hear the passion and the love and the curiosity and adventure in your response. And I know that you mentioned passions, right, and exploring, and you've done a lot of them. But tell me, tell us, what is one of those programs or clubs that you engaged on where you really found your passion?
I think one of the most meaningful organizations that I'm a part of is the Technology Student Association. It is recognized nationally, and we have regional, state, and national conferences. Students are able to participate in competitions ranging from forensic science to public speaking to Tech Bowl, all these different types of competitions. It not only allows students to gain that exposure to competitiveness and learning, but also to meet all sorts of people. Our school does fund students to attend regional, state, and national conferences. This past year, I was able to go to Orlando, Florida for one of the competitions with my partner, Ayush. We worked on a data science and analytics project, and not only did we get to meet students from all over, not just the United States, but other countries too. But we had a one-day trip sponsored by the school to explore Universal Studios, which a lot of us had never been to before. Just being able to gain that exposure to competitions, to meeting people. We had students from Germany in there too competing, which was amazing. Just being able to meet people and recognize what is out there. What did you not know about that is actually out there in the world that maybe you want to pursue as well. Just finding that community of people that also want to harness knowledge and technology to create true change for other people.
Thank you so much for sharing. Our next question is going to be for Tadasi. When you think about the future, what emotions does it bring up for you, and why is this?
When I think about the future, there's a few emotions that come up. For a while, it was sadness. It was really hard because I couldn't find a way to accept how I gotta step up. I gotta grow up right now for my mom because my dad's not gonna be here forever, and it was hard to accept that, and I was struggling with accepting it. I wasn't doing good. I was getting in trouble, stuff like that, but I think after I've gotten to the point where I feel like I've realized I need to grow up, I've accepted that, and the emotions I feel for the future are just happy. It's happiness. I'm happy that I'm able to provide. I'm happy that I'm able to grow up. If I was in Colorado, I wouldn't have any of these opportunities. I don't even know where I would be at if we were over there, honestly. And I'm happy that we're here. I'm happy that I'm in the place I'm at. I'm doing the things I'm doing. I love doing them. I love getting dirty. I love welding. I love making pipes. That's what I like to do. And I'm happy. I'm happy that they're able to see that. I'm happy that he's still here to see me do it. And nothing will change that anymore. It's not going to be that I'm always focused on sadness. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't think. I don't know. I don't know anything. Now I'm able to know. I feel like I know things. That's why I'm happy. I'm happy that we can move forward. We can really be who we are.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And if you feel, for example, maybe if there's somewhere that you can turn to, someplace, where would that be?
You probably already know my answer. It's probably going to be home. Like, we came here with nobody. These are my people. That's the people I love and who I care about. If I need someone to turn to, I'll turn to the people over there, my mom and my dad.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Uri, to what extent do you think your experience is similar or different to that of your peers and your friends?
So I think it's a very big extent. Since I was little, I've always felt not different, but just that I had to do like the opposite of everyone would do. Like people, like my friends would be like, "Oh, I woke up at 7 a.m." It was so like annoying. I was like, and I woke up at 5 a.m. and then I had to make like an hour line. And then ever since I was little, I've always had to wake up at 5 a.m. I always had to either catch a ride with my tia or my classmate's mom because my mom couldn't take me. She had to go to work. And it's just very different in the way that me and my brothers grew up, and not just me, but other classmates that also have had to like take that route and like getting up every day, getting to school, and then we couldn't really hang out after school because then se te iba la rola or something like that. And then it's just very different, but it also like gave me a very independent mindset because I have two brothers, and then I'm sort of like their mom because I'm the only girl. And so it really helped me build like an independent state of mind. So like whenever my mom would like text me, she'd be like, agarra tus hermanos because ya se va la rola. And so I would like go and look for them, and I'm like, we have to go. And then we would get to the rola, and then we'd come back. We would cross back, and then my grandma would be the one picking us up. And then so I would be like looking for a car. Like that's how I strangely like remember like car plates now because I had to like remember my grandpa's car plates. And so like, and that was like when I was like 7 years old. And so I think it just like, it wasn't a lot of like a barrier or like a setback. I think it really like helped me build who I am today. And I just like thank that it happened. Because it wasn't really like a struggle. Well, at the beginning it was, but then yeah, I made it to like something that I can improve and use for my future.
And for those of us who don't know what a rola is, what is a rola?
So
I know what it is, but what is it?
Like a system where a lady picks up kids from different schools for kids that cross back to Matamoros, and they charge. And so like they make good money, so like they have big vans, so like it fits more kids, and so like more parents put trust into these people to like bring their kids back. And I did that from like 1st grade to like 10th grade probably, until my brother learned to drive. So
And a favorite memory in the rola?
oh, my worst one was that when I was little, my mom didn't know I was car sick. I would get car sick, so, and then one time me and my brothers were playing around, and then I can't read or like play video games when I'm in the car, and then one of my classmates had like the new Nintendo 3DS, like back in like 2010s, and like he let me borrow it for once, so I was playing it, and I got super sick and ended up throwing up in the car on the blanket, and my mom had to come pick me up, and I was like, I didn't have school that day, so.
I was hoping for a happy memory, but that's okay.
That's the only one I remember.
That's okay. So thank you all so much for the initial questions. Now we're moving on to the question that all of you are going to answer. Are we ready? And we'll start with Uri, because you're right here next to me. If you could implement a change to your education, what would it be? And why do you think this hasn't happened already?
I think the financial aspect, because again, like right now I'm struggling to like get my financial aid, and it's not like to blame like UTRGV or ProVerify or FAFSA. It's just like changes that have gone through the system, and they're not like quite working out the way that they wish for. And I just think bringing more awareness to that, and for more kids who can push like, hey, like pay attention, like it's not just like these ball of like little kids. It's just like a big, more vision of a lot more of the kids who are going through this. And I just think if the right attention is put to it and the right change is made. So yeah, I just think that.
And you mentioned bringing awareness. What would be one thing that someone can do to bring awareness to this?
So in the beginning of the fall, before fall semester, they made like a info session of people that can come in and ask about the ProVerify process and see what can be done, which actually we went on a Saturday at 9 a.m. And then we did get a lot of help, and it did make the process really fast, but still like system issues happened, and I still haven't gotten it. So I just think more of those sessions and more of like the kids who are being affected to like speak out, and to like, because most of the time it's the parents speaking out because they're the ones more stressed than the child. So really like now being a college student, you're like, I don't have money. And so now that I'm being affected by it, well, not that I wasn't, but more that I'm being affected by it, it just like brings it more into perspective, like, hey, I need the money now. And so it's not just me, it's more of the kids who are thinking the same thing. So I think if like more people would speak out about it, I really think it would put it into perspective for those who are in the system. So like they're like, okay, like we have to like hurry, you know?
Thank you so much. Jasmine, same question. If you could implement a change to your education, what would it be?
I think a change that would be really beneficial to students was maybe integrating more project-based learning from a younger age, maybe in middle school or even elementary, exposing students to different career fields, different interests. At an earlier age, I think would really assist them to start thinking about maybe the type of career path they want to go into or the type of interests they have. I feel nowadays schools are really offering these excellent opportunities to advance college level courses during high school. So we're beginning to see students having to decide the type of career path that they want to pursue in order to take advantage of those opportunities that are available. And I think that's excellent, being able to already earn an associate's. I think that's an opportunity available. Earn an associate's by the time you graduate high school. So exposing students to different career paths at an earlier age, even through more simpler projects, I think would be really beneficial for students to begin thinking about what they like and what they want to pursue. And another thing would be maybe mentorship programs. I know at my school, just having teachers that really care about you and answer your questions and help you out outside of class time during tutoring hours to help you learn more about different subject matters has been really beneficial. So offering maybe community-wide mentorship programs where students can interact with teachers maybe even outside their own school and really learn about the field a bit more.
Thank you for sharing that. Jasmine, you mentioned project-based learning. Did you have that experience in middle school or in elementary?
Yes, so I actually took a Principles of Health Science course that was on Zoom, but that was like an elective that was more towards the medical field. But then I also took this other course, Gateway to Technology, that my middle school offered. It was STPA, South Texas ISD Preparatory Academy. Though it was on Zoom, I actually was able to make a little dragster design. So we would come up to the driveway of the school, and we picked up this box with a bunch of tools inside. And at home, I would spend time soldering the little piece of wood. And at the end of the year, we had this solar sprint car. And I think that was really interesting, and that helped me, again, solidify that interest in going into engineering. So that was one of my experiences.
Thank you so much. I look forward to maybe seeing more project-based learning in elementary and in middle school. Zevi, same question. If you could implement a change to your education, what would it be?
I'm very happy with all the classes at BISD and all the opportunities they've offered me. But I think kind of as a school-wide measure, I think it is necessary that people are more informed and that students are more informed about exactly what they can take and the benefits of each and every opportunity. I know a lot of very smart students who didn't maximize on all the opportunities they could take. Like, they took dual classes and didn't know they could challenge the AP, and they never did, and they didn't do as good as they could in class ranks. I know kids who did science fair, never knew that it was possible to advance to state and pass that. So they didn't try. And even in my own experiences, the reasons I've tried so hard is that I've seen other students succeed in the past, and I've been told by them what they did and how they loved the experiences, which has encouraged me to do well. And I think really what BISD needs isn't a whole revamp of new opportunities, but rather just letting each and every student know what they can accomplish during their time in high school, so that the next generation of BISD students can stand alongside me in saying that we have succeeded and that we have maximized our success in high school.
That's beautiful. I'm inspired by you. I hope you know that. As also a student from BASD myself, that makes me really happy to hear that you have that. And last question to Dasi, same question. If you could implement a change to your education or your training, what would it be?
I've honestly had nothing but like good things to say about everything I've done. During high school, when I moved down here, I was approached by my counselors about opportunities concerning like what I want to do about welding and stuff. But when I hear like all these activities and places they be going, I think like I didn't even know things like that existed. Maybe that's my fault for not like being in that certain type of thing. But if I were to talk about a change, I would think it would just be easier to access this information. I had no clue like the names of these things they're doing are this long. I'm like, it's crazy. So when it comes to something that could change, is maybe it could be a lot easier to access the information, to learn about these things. Not everyone can obviously do these things because the people up here are insanely smart. Like it's crazy. But I think it would help a lot if they had the resources to help look into it, access it, look at the things that they could do. Because I had no clue that any of that was even real. Like,
I feel that. I went to PACE, and I found out later on when I graduated that all of these resources existed, and I wasn't aware of them. So I completely understand that, and you're amazing, by the way. All right, so that marks the end of our panel questions. We are moving on to our audience questions that I have here. Some are general, and some are specific to some of you that were asked from our audience. Are we ready? You want to drink some water? Very good. You got it? All right. This first question is for Uri. It says your name on here. How can your university recruiters better support you in your college entry process? What do you wish you had known?
I wish I had known that FAFSA was going to be very different for my situation, and because I didn't know that we were going to be on 2-hour phone calls, and that because I didn't know that it was going to be such a, not difficult, but very like tricky process that had my dad like flipping out, like not knowing if I was going to get money or not. And I'm like, girl, like we are going to get money. You just need to be patient.
She did call her dad girl, by the way.
Oh,
That's
it's just a little nickname. But yeah, I just wish a lot of more support in the financial aspect for kids who have parents who do foreign taxes. Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, Udi. This next question is for Tadasi. What is attractive about the workforce right now and what isn't?
something that's attractive about the workforce is that the people who are doing it are starting to they're getting older, so it's the next people up are us. So there's positions. I'm excited to fill those positions in. The thing that's not attractive about it is how much there is to know, and it's so hard to get that information without being there and learning it. It's not easy to get like a journeyman position. You gotta start as a helper. You gotta start as a laborer. You gotta take these positions in the field to get to even a position that you want to do. That's the unattractive part, but the attractive part is that there's so many opportunities.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. This one is for anyone who wants to take it up. Being a student is challenging and it often requires mental or emotional health support. What resources are available in your school or community that you know of? You can be honest.
I don't know.
I think probably the biggest resource that we have in terms of mental and emotional help is, the teachers and friends that we have. I know there's a lot of teachers that I love. I mentioned some of them earlier. And if I'm ever feeling like, okay, I'm doing too much, I need to focus, I have too much on my plate, just talking to a teacher, like, what would you recommend approaching this? How would you recommend I try to do this in the least amount of time possible, the least stress possible? Or just hanging out with some friends, trying to decompress a little bit, hit the tennis ball really hard.
I think I can also take this one. Besides having maybe activities that really help students kind of de-stress, we also have counselors that are available to us just at any time. If students ever want to talk about how they're feeling, they just want somebody to listen to them, we do have the opportunity for students to reach out to these counselors and ask for a meeting with them. We also have a lot of different activities at our school. Besides the academics and the courses, we also have different activities. Just recently, with student council, we were able to pass out around 1,000 honey buns to students on a random Monday, and I think just little acts of kindness have been really helpful to reminding students to remain happy and to enjoy what they're doing. So definitely the counselors that are always available to help us, and then also just the students' ability to take initiative and do kind things for the school.
I would agree too. Like when I was a senior in high school, like I got really support from you guys, from my counselors. That was like a big part of like whole junior and senior year. And so I think really like my class taking advantage of like having you guys. It really helped us like not only build like an educational support, but also like an emotional support, because you guys were always there for us in that emotional aspect. And you guys always did try your best to like help us clear our minds from all the applying and the FAFSA and college. And so I just really think that it really brought us together, like class and to counselors. So, yeah.
Okay. This question goes for all of you, and it's probably one of my favorite questions that I would love to hear your responses on. And anyone can pick up after I ask the question. Do you think you have enough time to figure out who you are outside of the structure of school and the expectations yourself and others have placed on you? Do you think you have enough time to figure out who you are outside of the structure of school and the expectations yourself and others have placed on you?
I can take this one. Outside of school, I work really closely with, I'll give a shout out to them. It's the Junior Catholic Daughters of the Americas in McAllen in partnership with Our Lady of Sorrows Catholic Church. And we work on a lot of spiritual activities and service projects. We have a meeting every last Thursday of the month, and it's just being able to talk to other girls, to take some time off from school and just learn more about your inner self, like the type of person you want to be apart from a specific career field, but just understanding and appreciating who you are and how you can help others in the process. Just this weekend, we're going to be out in McAllen helping distribute meals to people across the valley who may not have access to them. And it's just completely non-academic related, but has definitely helped me appreciate the position I am in today and help others also appreciate the position they are in today.
Thank you.
You said it. You repeat it one more time.
Of course I can.
Remember the question, but
You
don't
no,
know
you
what
got it.
it
I got
is.
you. Do you think you have enough time to figure out who you are outside of the structure of school and the expectations yourself and others have placed on you?
I think I have more than enough time. I've never been somebody who's fit in. I've always just been who I am and me. So, no, I don't think there's a time limit on me discovering myself. I'll always be able to grow. I won't. Tomorrow I'll be a different person. It's not the same day. I'm a day closer to whatever my goal is, to whatever my end goal in life is. Like, I feel like I have all the time until I die. That I'm able to find myself, who I am. There's not a limit on me.
Thank you so much for sharing that response.
I would agree with that. Like, it's very, like, not only it's a very, like, mental thing, but it's also, like, a very spiritual thing. So, like, really, like, knowing what you want and then you going out of your own way to, like, do it. And even if you don't have, like, the guts to do it, you still have that, like, mindset. And then hopefully one day that mindset develops and, like, you going out and actually do it. And so, like, anyone can be whatever they want as long as they have their right mindset. Yeah.
Thank you. Zevi?
I'm 16, so I'll get back to you in 2 years. No, I think we do have sufficient time to figure out who we are. And I don't see. I think definitely school could be a part of that. It shouldn't be all of it. But I think, as someone who loves to learn, I've loved seeing how I've matured, how I've grown both in school and outside of school with friendships, church, and just kind of growing as a person, becoming more mature, and hopefully in these next few years I'll grow even more.
We'll get back to you in 2 years, right? All right, this next question is for all of you. It's a career readiness kind of question. What are the career opportunities you dream of, and what do you need to make that dream come true? So I know that some of you touched on this, but this is your opportunity to talk a little bit more about that. The question reads, what are the career opportunities you dream of, and what do you need to make that dream come true?
I think I'll start. I'm interested in human trafficking, like not participating in it, but like obviously putting a stop to it because it's something that isn't really talked about, but it's a huge problem because whenever it's brought up, you're like, oh, poor kids or poor people because they're just trying to find like a better life, but people just rather like talk about something else. And so I think I really like the aspect of it, and I would really like to like be part of that solution to it. And I think what I want to do is like graduate with a degree in bachelor's, like do 2 years here, and then hopefully do 2 years in Sam Houston because that's #1 in Texas for criminal justice. And then hopefully I want to do my master's at John Jay at New York. Because I know like with people with masters and with educational degrees get better chances in their positions. And then from there, I think I would come back and like join the feds, either customs or border patrol, which is kind of like the same thing. Because it happens a lot even within our own borders. And I think I'm just really interested in it. I want to like be the help for kids, especially because the kid part is what no one talks about because no one wants to listen to it. No one wants to like hear the horrible things that happen. So it's just something that really needs to like be looked into and something that I'm really interested in.
Agent Uri Torres has a great ring to it. All right, Jasmine, same question. Do you want me to read it again? What are the career opportunities you dream of, and what do you need to make the dream come true?
The career opportunity that I dream of is being able to develop technologies that can help people. And I think something that is really important in even being able to have access to the resources and materials to do so is the financial aspect of purchasing the sensors and purchasing the softwares. I feel like that's something that is really critical to even beginning to explore the field. So I think having that sponsorship is something that would really help to pursue, I guess, my interest in developing these technologies that can help people.
Thank you so much. Zevi?
So once again, my dream is to become a pediatric neurosurgeon, so I'm going to need about 20 years and some student loans. Wait, can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Yes. No, you're good. What are the career opportunities you dream of, and what do you need to make that dream come true?
So I think in terms of what I need, of course, bachelor's degree, med school, fellowship for specialization, like 4 years of residency. And I love school. I've always loved school. So hopefully in the process of becoming a surgeon, I can continue to love school and love learning. And I can just kind of grow within the role of school and eventually become a neurosurgeon.
Repeat the question.
Of course. What are the career opportunities you dream of, and what do you need to make that dream come true?
The career opportunities I dream of are in the field. I've stated that. I want to be a welding inspector because when it comes to jobs concerning welding, pipe fitting, things that are on a job site, stuff like that, it's not permanent. You finish the job, you find a new one. I want to be a welding inspector because I will always be there. I'm just looking at welds. Like, I love welding. I just get to look at them all day. I get paid the same money as somebody who goes out, cuts the pipe, puts it all together. That's what I dream of doing. And yeah, that's it, yeah.
Thank you. Last question before we close this off, and this is my question to you all. How can our community continue to support you or better support you in your dreams and your goals and your interests and whatever it is that you want to do? I can give you a few seconds to think about it. What can our community do to continue supporting you or to better support you?
I think I can take this one. I think something that I feel a lot of the schools have all these different resources. They have all these unique courses. They have amazing students. They have all these amazing people and resources. But something that maybe tends to set schools apart is funding and just being able to encourage community members to maybe fundraise or find a way to sponsor, whether it be field trips to visit universities or resources to work on different projects or buy materials to explore things like welding. Just that sponsorship, I think, would be really beneficial in minimizing that type of disparity between different communities and the differences. And then another thing would be mentorship. Bringing in people from maybe outside the Rio Grande Valley who have had different experiences, who have had different types of encounters with different fields, being able to expose different communities to other communities, like our community to another community or their community to our community, just being able to exchange those different experiences, those different ways of thinking so that we can really be able to develop our own unique approach to life and to our career.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
What was the question again?
How can our community better support you or continue supporting you?
I think generally like this panel like really like puts out awareness and puts out ideals that wasn't really talked about, and it just brings like a more specific perspective or like, okay, like this is what we need to look at for the kids who are going to be the future for everyone. And also like what you said about like funding for schools and to like go on field trips, because simple things, well, they're complex, but like simple things like that, like going out to university really implements like for the young generations, like, hey, like maybe I should pursue like education, because some kids don't really go into school, like, oh, like I want to go to college or stuff like that. Some people don't. And so really like small stuff like that, encouraging the kids to like further their education really like brings sort of awareness to them, and so they'll really be like, okay, like I want to study this and that, and it just like makes more leaders for our future, and it's just like really impactful for the kids right now.
Thank you.
I feel like I agree with both of what they said, especially about funding and mentors. I think connecting the community with other communities is perfect. That's bringing in experience from other people to your own community is I feel like the best way to bring that like the attention to what they want to do alive. Like I didn't even know about welding until I met my welding teacher in high school. I didn't know what it was. I met him and it was just like that. That's what I wanted to do. I'd never met this man I don't even think he liked me really, but like I liked him because he taught me what I needed to do. So if you're able to bring people in that have these experiences and things that they don't know about, let them break the ice with them about certain things they don't even know about yet. I think that would help a lot.
Thank you so much. And Savvy.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes, the question is, what can our community do to better support you or continue supporting you?
Give me water samples for science fair. No, but I think even within high school, we're all in different stages. As a junior right now, I'm just trying to learn all that I can about different colleges, all the options that I have. You know, what do I need to know before I fill out my application? You know, I have a lot of senior friends, just kind of looking over their shoulders, seeing them as they fill out their college app, seeing like what to do, what not to do. I think really what everyone needs is different and needs to be tailored to each one of them. A freshman might not know anything about colleges, about opportunities, about competitions. They might need a little more help, versus a senior might need a little more specific, like, oh, do you prefer this format or this format for my college essay? And I think right now as a junior, just learn as much as I can about the admissions process so that I'm not going in blind next year.
Beautiful. And that marks the end of our panel. Let's give these panelists a round of applause. You did it. Woo! And with that, we do want to thank you for coming up here and sharing your story. We have a bunch of goodie bags for you all on the side. They're going to bring them over. But this is a token of our appreciation and gratitude for you all coming up here and sharing with us your story and everyone else here. Let's give them another round of applause, yeah. And thank you all so much for allowing me to moderate today's panel discussion. Give it up for me. Yeah, just kidding. I am next going to hand it over to Miss Ana.
Thank you, Abril, and thank you again to all our panelists. Can we just give them another round of applause? It's not every day that we have an opportunity to have young people be so passionate, share their hopes, their fears, and their dreams with us, and their convictions. And they've been in the hot seat all afternoon, so now it's our turn. And when you walked in, we gave you all some reflection questions for you to consider. And I want to give you just a little opportunity to think about those, gather your thoughts. And then I'd like to ask for some of you to share what is top of mind for you that is relevant to those questions that we're asking you now, the community, after these amazing folks have shared all afternoon or a good part of this afternoon. So we'll take a minute or two. I'll stop talking so you can actually think and write. And thank you to the gentleman right here. There are Post-it notes around or near you if you want to jot your thoughts down there or on the reverse side of the half sheet that we gave you. I think we have somebody who's ready.
My name is Sabrina. I'm actually Tadasi's mother. We come from Colorado, and I just wanted to give a huge thank to the Valley. The opportunities that these kids are getting here is coming from a big city, though they don't have those. You would think in a bigger city they'd have more opportunities, and the way the high schools are structured down here, we were just absolutely amazed on the opportunities these kids have to be able to either go into, wow, some of these, you guys are so intelligent. It was amazing to listen to you guys. But my son has grown up with my husband and I working. We have our CDLs we've done construction we've had our own installation companies. We've had a lot of businesses over the years, and he's taken on that. We've pushed, actually, that trades are so important in these times, because he kind of touched on that. All of us are getting older, we're retiring, and I don't think the kids understand how important trades are. Plumbing, welding, electrical, all that is super important, and that's how we keep our infrastructure running. And I just need to give a huge thanks to this valley. Like, I have never seen programs like are down here. And TSC has been an amazing part of my son getting the rest of his welding experience and moving on, and hopefully to new and bigger, better things in the welding career. So I thank you.
My name is Marion Brown. I'm Tadasi's father. I just want to say thank you and give a hands up to the families, because I know the struggles that my son has gone through from COVID, not passing none of the COVID classes with a lot of students across the nation couldn't do. When he came here, he had to make up for those classes, plus his 11th grade, plus 12th grade, and then fight and talk to these folks to get a scholarship. And it was amazing that it all happened. And I was really, really impressed with him. But I want to bring attention to those other families that are in Progresso or anywhere else in the country that push these kids. We heard how intelligent they are. I'm amazed. I'm like, wow, who talks like that? But I just want to say, let's lift up those families, because they push these kids in those directions. And those opportunities they were talking about, those early years, let's take those early years into junior high school and grade school, and let's take them to those colleges and to Beto and SpaceX and say, this is the dream. You can have this. Look what's going on in front of us. We have all the opportunity and everything open to take them. It's not money that's going to cost you. It's just simply just put them on a bus. Let's go on a field trip. Let's take them over there and let them just see. Let them dream, because that's what he did. He went to school here. He didn't speak Spanish. He's going, he said, Dad, I don't know if I can do this. I said, and she said the same, I'm worried about Tadasi. I said, let nature take its course. It'll be okay. And it did. And this is where it turned out to be. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, to the Valley, and give hands up to those families there, because they push these kids and they keep them on track, because I keep that one on track.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Brown. We're hearing kind of from the outside in, but I do hope that you feel welcomed in this community that you are now a part of. And so they've shared a little bit about how we're showing up as a community, but what are some of the other thoughts you're taking away? What barriers are you still seeing? How do we need to show up for this community and our students? And I'm going to run back here. Probably trot, because if I run, I may fall. Say your name, please.
Yes. Hi, good afternoon. My name's Cassandra Rodriguez. I am a college guidance counselor for a national nonprofit called LIDA. But I spent 17 years in public education here in the RGV. I'm a Valley native. And I worked as a college counselor at IDEA for almost 9 years. So I hear very clearly, I was a college counselor working with students like yourself, whose parents had issues verifying with the FAFSA, which, for those of us who don't know all the intricacies of college and admissions and financial aid, provides the financial aid package information, the basic information for colleges to create these financial aid packages. For students who are high performers, who ended up going to schools in the Ivies or out of state who accept other forms of financial information like the CSS profile, those students were able to get awarded even when their parents couldn't be verified through our federal government's FAFSA. So while I hear, yes, there's the emergency loan situation, my concern is we still don't know what the FAFSA is gonna look like, and it's not opening until December, hopefully. That's what we were told last year, and it got pushed. And so what are our local universities, where the majority of our Valley kids go, doing to help support these kiddos this year, next year, into the future, while the federal government figures out what they're doing behind the scenes on the technical aspect? Because that's what's slowing them down. And then agencies like ProVerifier, who are local, they have local offices, what are they doing, and how are they training their technicians? Because really, they're not trained in financial information. They're just data entry people. So when our kiddos are talking about being on the phone for hours at a time, that's not an exaggeration. 5, 6 hours at a time, and then the call would drop, and then you start the process all over again. Very frustrating for parents, for students, being in the seat where your kids are crying or the families are there, frustrated. something I'm very passionate about. So that's my push for our local community. What are our local colleges doing to help support our kids here?
Thank you so much for sharing. And I'd like to sort of nudge the audience a little bit to answer the last question. That is, actually, may I borrow this? How can we get more students involved in the community? And I actually have a student hand going up. So we met at the beginning. Jacob, right? Jacob, thank you for choosing courage and sharing.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Jacob Smith. The question is, how can we get more students involved in the community? So I'm gonna do a quick shameless plug to one of the organizations that I am a member of. And well, not only am I a member, but I'm president of the Rotary Interact Club of Hannah High School. And I feel like something that we can do to get students more involved in the community is to speak and provide anecdotes of people's personal experiences within these organizations and things that they get involved in. Because personally, I had no idea what Rotary was. No one told me anything, quite frankly. And the only reason I found out about Rotary was because my biology teacher approached me about, she needed members, really. That was really what it was about. So from Rotary, I thought it was just gonna be some other organization. It's just gonna go on my resume, this is it. But with Rotary, I've had the opportunity to serve my community and to become more involved in my community, meet with adult Rotarians, and I feel like maybe more emphasis on these personal stories could work to get more students involved.
100%, Jacob. And then it's not always that I get to put someone in the hot seat, but he's one of my favorite people. And I'll let him introduce himself right now, but I'd like to hear perspective on how you and we can contribute to addressing some of the barriers that we heard expressed by our students today. What can we do as a community? And please do us the honor of introducing yourself, Doctor.
Thank you. My name is Marco Silva. I'm the Executive Director for RGV Lead. Previously, I was a college counselor for about 7 years, and I think there's a prominent theme that I'm taking away from this is just like the power of engagement, specifically for youth, right? I think we're in a unique position in where the institutions understand the power that it has and the financial implications it could have for students in the future, right? I think that we are mixing two different things that sometimes we don't always value. For example, you know, the seniors that are graduating right now, going back to Mr. Brown's point, are those who experienced COVID in 8th grade. And so they're definitely a generation that learn to learn different, that learn to communicate different. And so I think that when we are engaged in conversations as a community, despite of the organizations that we come with, we begin to understand ourselves. We begin to understand, like, through generations and having young people work with adults. And so as I think about engagement, it is beneficial for them to be on all these clubs. It is beneficial to join all these competitions in the community. And it is so because it is a push for economic development in our region. As we grow as a community, these are our kids who are gonna understand the community by the time they go into the workforce. And so I think that this is a perfect example of what it looks like when we combine and we understand each other through generations, through communities, and through, you know, private and public sectors, because these kids are examples of what it could look like. And I mean, they're all well-spoken, and I think we're all shocked at, like, wow, this is awesome, right? But I think they're not alone, right? There's classrooms filled with these kids that I think it's just a matter of time for them to, like, step up and be in roles that we can all benefit from.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marcos Silva. And you can tell as I'm standing next to Dr. Silva, right, there's a big generational difference between us both. And so some of the things that I'm walking away with today are exactly what Dr. Silva mentioned and what our panelists mentioned today. But at the core of everything is relationships and the courage to tell our story. Because what I heard from these very four inspiring young people today is that they place a lot of value in their families. They love their parents. They love their community, and they have ideas for some of our hurdles that we have to go over, and they have solutions that they want to propose to our community. They have dreams, and they're inspired by other people, mentors in our community who give to them. But I would beg to say that they also have a lot to give to our community. And it behooves us to begin to have more of these critical conversations that involve student voice. And they have struggles. They have struggles to overcome. And somewhere along the way, they've not been alone. And that's what has given them courage, empathy, love for themselves, love for their community, and love and inspiration and aspiration for their futures. And it really takes all of us working together on common goals, common values, and then extraordinary innovations to get us to where we need to go. So on behalf of Teach for America, our team, and our partners at eBridge, I want to thank all of you for joining us today, and a special thanks to Corey Peña, who's a visionary in this community and who is making things like this happen. Thank you, Corey, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Anna. Wow, thank you all. I really sincerely thank you all for attending and actively participating tonight. Your presence shows how important these discussions are for building a brighter future for our Brownsville. So I challenge you all to take heart the stories that were shared today, the insights, the passion that was shared. Let that inspire you to support our young leaders and actively contributing to creating opportunities for the next generation, whether through mentorship, advocacy, or community involvement. So before we conclude, I want you to stay, network, connect with each other. These conversations, are just the beginning, and building relationships will strengthen our community. So thank you again for coming, and I hope we can continue the conversation and keep doing this.